Okay, so I got my truck running, warming up the beast, the big Blanco. And I think I'm gonna install some fog lights in here, in this area, inside. I gotta do a bracket and do that. Let me turn it off. And we got our Christmas lights up. I put that one over there. I just did a half-ass. I had this leftover rope lighting, and I just wrapped it around these two palm trees. And my neighbor has a pretty good layout on the front. It's pretty nice. So I got the palm tree, this bush here, that one there, all the lights over here, and I got the front here. That's the front door, and I got this one, the palm tree, kind of changes colors. Did this bush over here. There's the Christmas tree inside. You can see it from outside. And then did these here up on the tree. And to be honest, my wife did most of it. It looked nice. It's okay. Go back inside. It's a little nippy. So getting ready for Christmas, even though I'm not really looking forward to it. Every time at the end of the year, it's just kind of, I don't know. I'm not going to say depressing, but it's a little bit of a hassle with the family trying to get together. And this year, I got invited up the street. This Cuban guy is going to do a lechon, my favorite dish. That's roast pig. And we're going to be going up there. And then I got a friend about a half a mile. He's going to do something. So we're going to be bouncing from there to there and going back and, visit everybody. But my family's not doing anything because now everybody's spread out from one end of the county to the other. And my sister not going to do anything because she's going to go to her sons and daughters an hour and a half away from her house. It's about an hour away from her house, and I'm 40 minutes from her house. So it's almost a 2-hour drive if I wanted to go over there. And then my cousins, I got some cousins in Palmdale. They're doing a pig over there. And then my uncle moved further away in the valley. So everybody's way out. And I don't like to be driving in the holidays because there's a lot of vehicles on the road, a lot of accidents and people drinking and accidents and shit. So we're not going to bother. We're just going to say Merry Christmas, everybody, and, buy a gift for my nephew's kids. That's it. Get something for my mother, maybe my sister, and that's it. That's the way the end of the year. We're gonna have it that way. And on the cigar, I am very happy with the cigar. I'm gonna give it an 8. And this thing has been going on for about an hour. I lit up around 4. It's 5:30 now. So I lit up around 4:20. It's almost an hour cigar so far. And this is the cigar I'm smoking. Let me see if I got this. Oh, it's upside down. Is the my father's cigar, I guess, Garcia and Garcia. I got to look it up and see who makes it. I don't know if the Garcia brothers or father and son blend, but so far so good. It's a good tasting cigar. Very mild, strong flavor, but the smoke is mild. It doesn't burn your tongue or anything. Like they say in the business, it doesn't bite. So I just called. I left a message to somebody that I met up in the mountains and asked him if you want to go pig hunting. I just called Mr. Comfortable, and he says he's too busy. He can't. He's always busy. He has to do a lot of paperwork for his business. It's very regulated and all this crap. So he said he couldn't make it. So I'm planning on going in about a week. I've been saying this for a couple of months, but there's always something. There's always something. And I gotta go to the boat on Saturday. I still haven't changed the oil on the quad. I gotta do that. But I got a mystery going with the boat. I went yesterday, and I did a flush on the engine because when I confused those hoses with the salt water, the salt went where the antifreeze should go. So anyways, the thermostat was crusted. So I changed the thermostat and took the old one out. I tested it, it's still good. So what I did is I put antifreeze and I removed the thermostat, make sure that there's a good circulation where the salt water was. It's already flushed with a salt remover. And something happened. The engine, without the thermostat, the engine started overheating. It went up to 180 where it shouldn't even go to 120. It shouldn't even go to nothing because there's no thermostat. So now I'm thinking, could it be the pump? Because I checked everything else. And I forgot to check something else that it could be the problem. So the next test I'm going to do Saturday, or maybe tomorrow, I'll probably go. I don't know. I got a lot of things to do. But if I was going to check and disconnect the hoses that are attached to the exhaust manifold, the coolers, the jackets there, and see if water is gushing out from the radiator. I'm going to refill it with water and see when I crank the engine. I'm going to run it maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds and see if water is gushing out. So if the water is gushing out, it means that the pump is working. So why am I getting a hot signal on the gauge? It could be that the salt crusted up the heat sensor. If that's the case, I'm going to remove it, take it out, get a little copper wire brush that I have at the boat and brush it clean, put it back on, and then do that test. So I'm going to do the water pump test first, and then I'm going to do the sensor, because one of the two's got to be the problem. This guy just told me that he wanted to go fishing. He can't go hunting, but he can go fishing for a day. At least half a day, till 12. So I want to make sure everything is running good. The engine runs, but I want to make sure that the circulation and the overheating problem is solved. And once it's done, then I can start taking my friends out to fish. So that's what's going on. There's always something. I bumped into a friend at the park today, and he told me before that he wanted to buy this boat. It's a Formula, which is a very good boat. Formula boats are very well designed. I know the history of the owner. I think he passed away already, and he used to do races, and so he went to see this 26-footer, and he had a survey done, and the guy checked it out, and he bought it. The guy said, no, boat's good. So he checked it out, took it to the lake up there in the river, went to Havasu, and then the boat, he was doing fine at high speed, but then when he was going into the canal area, that the London Bridge and all that, you got to do 5 miles an hour, the boat was drifting, and he couldn't control it. He kept moving the thing around, and the steering was kind of stiff, so he thought maybe the cable was bad, which it probably is. But then when he pulled it out of the water, he took it to this shop over there. They checked it, and it turns out the outdrive was wobbly. So the mechanic said, hey, your gimbal is bad. It has to be replaced. So they replaced everything, And it cost them $7,000 to take the engine, because I don't know why they said you got to remove the engine. You got to remove the outdrive, not the engine. So he probably got lied to there. I don't think you need to remove the engine, but he moved the outdrive, and he put new hydraulic arms for the lift and everything. He put a new gimbal bushing in there, the wheel bearing, greased it up, put it back on, and now he says it's running right. So even though he had it checked by a surveyor, and I told him, hey, get a hold of the surveyor and complain, because he should have looked at that. When you buy a boat, you got to make sure everything is in good condition so you can fork out the money. Well, it turns out that if he would have seen that problem, he could have said, okay, I'm going to offer you $5,000 less for the boat. And he got, he didn't get a deal. He got a good price. I'm not going to say the price, but he got a good price. But now he had to spend an additional $7,000, and that took him by surprise, because he thought the boat was 100%. So he says, the hell with it. I pay for it. Fuck it. He was a little pissed, and now the boat is running. So that goes to show you, even though you buy a boat that's being surveyed, they didn't do a thorough job, and either the guy, the surveyor, didn't catch it, or he was friends with the seller. Maybe there would have been something else there that he kind of didn't pointed it out, the problem, to help the guy sell the boat. That could be also a thing. So he finally, he's happy now with the boat. The boat, he says, it runs great and everything. And I told him when he was going to buy the boat, I said, why don't you let me come along? I know what to look for. But he didn't call me. He just went on, and he got the surveyor. He paid, I think it was $600, which is fair, because I paid $500 when I bought mine years ago. So the price is good. But that came out of left field, and he stuck with $7,000. So he got it done, because he says, I want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. I don't want any problems. Da, da, da. So, and then also the trailer was kind of rusty, so he had to replace all the brakes and all the lines, and the brake system on the trailer was shot also. He had to replace that. So yeah, it cost him some money. So my lady complains and says, wow, the boat is always broken. You're always doing something to the boat. Like I said, listen, the guy went and bought a newer boat in 2007, I think it was 2011. And look at the issue. So when you buy a boat, you got to look at everything. And one thing that I do, that's why I wanted to come along. I don't have a pen with me, but what I do is on the prop, I get a pencil or a pen. In the cone that holds the blades prop, you run the engine, put it in gear with the water hose, of course, and then the engine is, the prop is spinning. You put a pen in and put it on the cone. So this is the cone. You rest the pencil and see if the pencil's doing this or wobbly. If it is, it means that the shaft is bent, that they probably hit something, they hit a rock, and they just replace the prop real quick, right? But the shaft itself going into the engine could have an issue that is bent, and I don't think they checked for that either. And he didn't really knew about it. I told him before he went and bought it, but he didn't do it, didn't do the test. So there's always problems with boats, basically, no matter how old it is. You gotta check it with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that when you put the money down, the boat is in running condition, because you can get a surprise like that. I also know a guy that he went and bought a boat from a doctor, and I said, did you get it surveyed? Because he thinks he's a mechanic. He's an engineer, but he says, no, I'm not going to insult the guy with a... And I said, what do you mean insult the guy? It's your money. You're putting money down for the boat. He said, no, the guy's a doctor. And he gave him all this credit, And I said, okay. We took it down to the water. I backed it into the water. And he went in to run the engine so he can back it out, right? So when he jumped on the boat, he jumps right out and he runs to the truck and he says, pull it out, pull it out. And I said, well, what's going on? He goes, it's filling with water. I said, what do you mean filling with water? So they say, okay, maybe the plug in the back is not on. We pulled it out. What happened was, it wasn't the plug. It was the exhaust manifolds that were cracked. And they were just leaking water. You know. So he got shafted because he didn't want to insult the doctor. I said, bullshit, man. Who cares what he is? If it's I don't care if he's not an engineer. You know, you need to inspect the boat for everything because look what happened. Those manifolds cost him $3,000 or something. And he did the job himself. So if he had it done, it would have cost him more. So he complained to the broker, and the broker got a hold of the seller, and he said, okay, you need to refund some money. So they gave him $3,000 back because he got cheated, and he was really pissed. So see, you cannot trust anybody when you're putting money down on something. You gotta check it. Take it if it's a car. Take it to a mechanic. If you're buying a boat, get a surveyor, and then you look at your own stuff. You look for yourself, whatever the other guy didn't catch, like the other dude with the formula. You gotta check for everything because you never know what's gonna happen. What if he said, okay, run the engine? He didn't look in the engine compartment. Run the engine, back it out. We're driving out there and we're sinking because all this water is gushing in. Shh. No, bro. You put in your hard-earned money, cash, bought it cash, and then that problem occurred. You know, so you cannot trust anybody when you buy a vehicle or a boat. You got to do your own due diligence. Simple as that. The truck, I gotta take it. I don't know if tomorrow I'm gonna have a chance to do it, but I bought a new battery. It's not even a year old, and the truck completely died. The battery was at 0, you know, like 2%. And I said, that can't be right. So I might take the truck over, which is not too far, to the battery place. That's all they do is check batteries. And I said, okay, I want you to check it because this thing died on me here at the house. You know, so I had to put my charger for a couple of days, trickle charge, and then give it a boost so I can crank it. And now when I put on the key and turn it, it doesn't go to 14, it goes to 12, something like that. So the battery is not completely 100% recouped. It has to be at 13, 13.4, you know, and then when you run it, it goes up to 14 and then 15. But the battery itself could be weak, could be a bad cell. So tomorrow I gotta have that checked, because if that's the case, there's no good. They're gonna have to give me another battery. It's got a year warranty, so it's not even a year. I got it, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months ago. So that's another thing that I gotta look into, because I don't want to get stranded when I go pigging and then I'm gonna crank the truck. And I have the little portable. See if it's here. No, I put it back in the with the tool with the truck stuff. I have this little portable hard pack to give it a jump, and it wouldn't even start the truck. So that battery was dead. So I want to make sure that this thing is in good condition. So again, you got to check your equipment before you make a trip, because you think, oh, it's running, it's good. You know, you got to check everything: hoses, belts, everything. So yeah. So let's see what's happening with the boat, man, because I'm kind of, it's got to be the salt. It's got to be the salt on that, on the sensor, most likely, because the salt on the thermostat was crusted, and the thermostat couldn't do the job of opening. So the sensor's giving me, if it's not the pump, the sensor's giving me bad signal. It's cool, it's hot, then it cool again, because it did go down. I let it running. It was 180. It went to 180, almost 190. And I wasn't even in gear. It was just idling. So the sensor probably has a problem with the salt, because of the condition of the thermostat could be that the sensor has the same problem. It was crusted with salt. because of the mistake I made when I got confused with the hoses. They're really close to each other. One is on top of the other, and all I had to do is this, and then the circulation was antifreeze and then salt water for the exhaust. So on the cigar is nice. I want to see if I can buy some more of these, if I can find them online, and buy a pack, 5 or 10 or whatever, and see how that goes. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.